Welcome to Urban Beats Radio 2. I am your host, Rashawn Ellis. Today we are interviewing CEO and founder Lisa Harwell of Red Baby Publishing. She is from Texas. Stay tuned. We will be right back. So how are you doing today, Lisa Harwell?
I am great. It is a beautiful Saturday here. I have not been outside yet, but I'm looking out my window and the sun is shining and it's less than 80 degrees. So
Yes.
I keep saying, am I going to grill? Am I not going to grill? Gonna grill? Am I not going to grill?
You're in heavy debate about it. Heavy debate. Well, thank you so much for being a part of Urban Beats Radio 2 today. I'm so glad you accepted my invite to be on the show because last time we met, I was on your show.
Yes, indeed.
Which was quite a joy for me. I thank you so much for that opportunity again.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate the love and support back on being a guest on your show. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I want to start first by asking you the question, what was your motivation to become a book author? And if you could elaborate a little bit about the books you've written and published as well.
Okay. It came about strangely enough. I was a junior in high school. And I took a creative writing class, and the teacher really said that I had a way with words and I could tell a story. And that's how she first got me introduced to journalism, because I thought, okay, I'm living in Florida. I'm going to be able to go to University of Florida. They were known for their journalism program. And the middle of my senior year, we moved. And so the idea of college kind of left me, but I still wrote poems and dabbled a little bit in writing songs. And this character, she always just stayed with me some capacity or another through my the end of my teen years into my 20s. I went back to school for a little bit, and I was majoring in journalism, going to major in journalism, and took a screenwriting class. So I tried, my hand at it again. This same female still with me, and kind of put it away on the shelf again.
Wow.
And so when I decided to go back to college in my 40s, I wanted my son to see, that my dream was to eventually get a college degree. And I wanted him to see that, right?
Right.
And so I kind of didn't know what I wanted to major in because I worked in IT for so long, but my heart went back to journalism and communication studies again.
Your passion.
And yes. And so I was still writing the book, and a girlfriend of mine was going through a midlife crisis, and that's her words, not mine. But she is an accomplished author. She's put out, I think she's getting ready to put out her 21st book.
Oh, wow.
Won awards. She does romance, comedy, spy thrillers, but just really, really good writer, comedy writer. And I had her read, my story, because I was still, dabbling on it.
Right.
And she said to me, finish the story. You have a way of painting a picture. The way that I write, I love fiction. I paint a story. Right. So you see the background, you feel the characters. I get that immersed. And so I did. I gave it to her and another writer to look at. They were like, okay, but it needs some work.
Right.
And it kind of made me feel a little deflated for a minute, but I was still finishing up college. Right. And I had decided to go from undergrad to get a graduate degree. So I was like, I can't write and do graduate papers at the same time. It's just going to have to wait till I finish graduate school.
Right.
And so I sat it down and I looked at it again and I tweaked some things, but she was still really adamant, this character, about her story. And I think what took me so long is I didn't know where to start. And it was kind of almost correlations with my life, right? I was going from one decade to another decade. So I finally figured a spot to start her and finally finish her story where she's like, I'm done. This is what I had to say. This is what I had to do. And I finally got it done, got it to somebody to edit it, and came back to my girlfriend on the promise. She said that if I finished it, she would publish it for me because she self-publishes.
Awesome.
And she said to me, you have all the tools to do this yourself.
There you go.
This was 2019. I was not happy because I was like, I did all this work and she told me I can do this myself.
Right.
But it was the best advice that she gave me because I think she saw something in me that I still did not see.
Right.
So 2019, I was like, off my bucket list. Here's the first book that I came out with, The Chameleon.
Got you. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And this was a story that stuck with me on and off through high school.
Amazing.
So she was just insistent, to tell her story. And so I got it done thinking I would be finished, right? I did a dedication. I published it myself. So I told my mom, I'm going to, can I name my publishing company after you? Because my goal was that I would write on my own timetable.
There you go.
Learn the ins and outs of publishing on my own. And then I would just publish, if I wanted to do something else later, then I had it.
Got you.
So
that is amazing.
Done, and a couple of months later, a young lady came to me who I've known my entire life and said to me, hey, cousin, I see you doing great things out there. I have a story I need to tell. Can you help me?
There you go. See?
And I was like, no. It was an immediate no, because I thought, okay, I knew part of her story. I didn't know her whole story, being family, immediate family. And, sometimes when you tell family drama, you don't want family drama happening.
Right, exactly, right.
And so she listened to me for a few minutes and she said, okay, she said, but I got two things to tell you. And then I have two things to tell you. And then she says, then I'm going to finish with this. She said, the story that I want to tell, I own it. She says, I can't include mom. I can't include dad. I can't include anybody. Right. I did it. I'm owning it.
Wow.
She said, now, when I thought about this and God placed this on my heart, he said, the first thing he said for me to do was to ask you. And he told me you might say no. He said, but he told me to tell you something else. This is your platform. This is your ministry. You are a storyteller. You help people feel comfortable about telling their stories. Why are you continuing to keep running away from what I've ordained you to do?
Absolutely.
And so when she said that to me, it was like a reckoning and a confirmation, because people have been saying similar things to me over the years. When you meet me, I'm transparent. If I'm friends with you, I'm friends with you for life. If there's something I can do to help you, I'm going to help you. A lot of times people would say to me, why do you share information? Why do you do this? And, because that's the only thing I know. Right. Exactly. I grew up in a village of people that helped me. So if it's something that I can say or do or point you to help you, why am I going to hold on to it? It's not
exactly
for me. If it's for me, God's going to make sure that it's for me.
Exactly. You're not selfish. You're not selfish.
Right. And so it then did resonate with me. So that really began my journey of publishing other people. So after I did that, I helped my cousin write her book. And the name of her book is Dancing with The Devil Cracked Cocaine, the Prophetess Jacqueline Cade story.
Awesome. Awesome.
And it's based on 25 years that she was addicted to drugs. So she talks about what the draw was that pulled her in and how she pulled herself out. It's a powerful read, especially for folks that have gone down that road and know the draw that addiction has on you. It's a disease. You know, people think that it's a choice. You've made the choice to do it, but still it is an addiction that people need help to get across for them.
Exactly.
So I have published personally myself, The Chameleon, and this is Averless 3.2.
Wow, awesome.
I did not think that I had a sci-fi mystery in me. So this is going to be an actual series. So this is the first of the series.
Got you.
And I'll probably come up with it when it comes out.
Right.
People always ask, you know, how do I write when they speak to me?
Got it.
I don't have a specific timetable. You know, sometimes I put a timetable to stuff of when I, you know, some progress that I want to see move. But normally it's like the characters have to talk to me.
Right.
And I'm adamant. Exactly, because I want them to tell their story. I don't want to push something that I think is going to be their story. And then I have a bunch of rewrites. I'd rather have them tell their story and then go back and rewrite what I need to do to clean it up to make it more presentable.
Absolutely.
But it has been a journey for 2 years. I had another young lady that came to me that had a story about domestic violence in her marriage. And so this is Entangled.
Got you.
Domesticated Love by Mia W. Jones.
Amazing.
Again, another powerful testimony of overcoming. And I seem to gravitate to that. And I love that piece of it because that's the journalist in me. It allows me to be that journalist, to hear their story, to help them develop it and get it on paper and own it and have that aha moment when they finish. Exactly. Okay, I've been able to exhale it. You know? As you know, we're part of Signature Entrepreneurs and Masterminds.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And here is our anthology, volume 2 of Iron Sharpens Iron, with our leader, Dr. Larry White Sr. Yes. I was blessed, beyond blessed. Beyond blessed. I'm gonna say that a whole bunch of times because this is my first bestseller.
Amazing.
And not only is it my first, thank you. Not only is it my first bestseller, I also wrote the introduction and I have a chapter in it where I talk about reinventing by his design. And when I say his, I'm talking about God. Absolutely. Finally listening to him and making that jump from IT to publishing. It's been a scary ride, but I tell you what, I think the way that he did it was intentional for me, because had I done it on my own, really done it on my own, I don't think I ever would have done it.
Exactly.
You know, I'm a planner, and he says, "Oh no, we're going to do something very unorthodox."
Right.
You know, just
absolutely. That's how it goes with God. I mean, he continues to come at you until you actually get into his will of what he wants for you. If that's the path that he has for you, you have to follow that thing. It's going to keep coming to you until you finally be obedient and, you know, go forth. And the thing about it is, I think in everything that we're all doing, our destinies are tied to other people. So that's the whole plan of us to do what we're doing and to help other people. So, right, like how you ran from the whole publishing piece and becoming a book author. And once that door got open, like, look at the people they began to come to you for what you knew how to do. So
exactly. So I did 2 other publications this year. One was earlier this summer. It is The Courtship of Eddie Law by MJ Grayson. Most of these books that I'm talking about, people can find them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, with the exception of Iron Sharpens Iron. The ebook is on Amazon, right now, if members or if individuals are interested in a copy, I'll give you my info at the end.
Absolutely.
Because we're doing it's 18 individual authors.
Gotcha.
So they're selling it, giving them an opportunity to make their sales and promote, their books so they can get their glory too, because it was an excellent project.
Right, it was a group effort.
Excuse my front door alarm going off.
Oh, that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So from all go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
I have one more,
Okay.
and I'm proud of this one too, because this one actually came about from Dr. Paul W. Dyer. Sent me a text, and he says there's young lady that I interviewed. She's looking for a publisher. And I met with her, gave her my spiel of, how long I had been in the business and everything. And she said, I'm trusting my spirit. And so
that's huge.
Criminal defense attorney, Maria Fiorentino. This is going to be her first book to be released next week. And the name of this is
coming out.
Interdependency: How to Reform the Criminal Justice System, a View from a Criminal Defense Attorney. And it's a short read, but it's so powerful because she talks about bail reform. She talks about prison reform, policy, sentencing, what's the difference between rehabilitation and reform? A lot of people say, and this is what really got me when I was talking with her, and she's going to actually be a guest on my show next week.
Okay.
That the difference between reform and rehabilitation is, with reform, we're not really changing behavior or changing pattern. With rehabilitation, if we incorporate that into the penal system, once, if they've been convicted and they're going to jail, and either they're in jail or they're out on parole, you have to have a way and options for them to be able to rehabilitate within their community, outside of their community, if you're sending them back in the same community. And unfortunately for us, the majority of us that end up in the system are coming from low-income housing.
Absolutely.
And we're throwing them right back to no jobs, nothing.
Nothing to offer them.
Nothing.
To put them on a path that they can be better. So you're right.
Exactly. And so I was so honored really to work with her on this one, because like I said, it's a short read, but it packs a powerful punch.
That's amazing.
It really does. And I hope that, people will read it and start. What she wants is to start the conversation, serious conversation. And we can see from the news this week, the disappointment that they did not pass the federal mandate for policing. It got dead in the water as soon as it got to the Senate, because some other folks on the other side of the aisle want to keep us as Jim Crow era. Right,
exactly. They want to keep everything the same.
I'm gonna step off from that from there.
They want to keep everything the same. They don't want things to change. So, oh, wow. But yeah, that's amazing. Tell us a little bit about your podcast show, The Journeys with Jones Harwell. Tell us about that.
I love that because, like you, I don't have a radio show. I love music though, and I love your platform and everything that you do. But Journeys gives me an opportunity to talk to individuals about their passions, about their journey. And I've had some incredible people on the show. I cannot wait to interview Maria this week. I had another young lady who reached out to me from Kansas earlier in the month. She actually grew up in a cult. Wow. And she is well known in her circles, minister. And we had this wonderful conversation, had a conversation, interestingly enough, with a gentleman who spent years as a safety inspector for OSHA.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked everything about building safety. We talked about COVID. We talked about, a plethora of information. A couple of my favorite interviews is one with Dr. Sandra Tuesdale, and I hope to have her back.
Okay.
She's considered to be one of the historians of DC.
Okay.
She is well into her 80s and has documented the history of segregation while she was growing up, now seeing the gentrification coming into DC.
Mm-hmm.
She loves music just as I do. That's how I met her, through my son. Mm-hmm. And she is very much involved with a group called DC Legendary Musicians. So anybody out of the DMV area, like you get involved with different musicians, different artists, singers, songwriters. She has documented jazz. So she already put that out as a book, but she's looking to do R&B, and then she's looking to do actually the history of U Street. Okay. And what interests me so much was I'm a transplant to Washington, D.C.
Right.
I was born in Texas,
right.
Raised in Florida, but my father grew up in Washington, D.C.
Gotcha.
So a member of 3 generations, from my grandmother to my son, 4 generations, have been in the Washington metropolitan area since 1937.
Gotcha. Oh, wow. That's
and
a long
so
time.
when she started talking about some of this stuff, it resonated conversations that I had with my own grandmother working on U Street. She started out as a cook. And then, she went from being a cook to being one of the first seamstress that worked for Saks Fifth Avenue in Washington, D.C. Buying a house upper Northwest, because most people bought in Anacostia or most people bought downtown. They didn't buy uptown. Right. So it was just the whole history and the whole journey. And I was like, I'm so excited. Can I be a part of that project? And she was like, sure. Right. So stay tuned for that one.
Absolutely. We definitely will.
I love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell us about, you're also a motivational speaker. What inspires you to be a motivational speaker?
I think simply because people normally ask me, how is it that I can stay so optimistic?
Yeah.
And part of my story that I talk about in Iron Sharpens Iron is every time I come up to adversity, right? I come up to a new situation I don't know anything about, I'm stepping into something that's brand new. I always find a strength behind the women's shoulders that I stand on.
Absolutely.
And that is my mother, my bonus mother, and my grandmothers. And I didn't share their story, but my mother, went to work late in life after my parents divorced, and she went into social work. So I saw her working with individuals, helping them with housing issues, weatherization issues. If they, when the seasons changed, they would do food drives, and she worked for the state of Texas, but the county that she worked for, she had 8 counties that she was responsible for.
Right.
My bonus stepmother went to college, started off as a teacher. She taught math. She went from math to journalism to energy to office manager to editor to publisher to writer. Had a bout with MS that almost took her out, but her resilience every time that she bounced back,
She's determined.
My mother too, my mother, 2-time breast cancer survivor. Every time they bounced back.
Right.
My grandmothers, my grandmother that migrated to Washington, D.C., she did it. My father wasn't even a year old.
Right.
But she knew she had to make that change to better not only herself, but to give opportunities for my father. So she
Absolutely.
talked to me about her journey. You know, my mom's mother was a housekeeper her entire life. A lot of times she walked to work because her husband needed the car. She'd walk to work. And just her, they say I'm a lot like her. I think I have other cousins that are more like her. But,
right.
But you know, just her resilience that, you know, to walk,
right.
to walk to work, to clean somebody else's house.
Right. That's huge.
That takes a lot.
It
I
does.
don't know if I could.
Right.
I don't know. And then the bonus grandmother that gave me a love of reading and writing. She was a librarian.
Right.
And so I spent my summers partly in Washington, D.C. and partly in East Orange, New Jersey. And when we were in Jersey, I was in the library. So I always had a book, you know, because she didn't believe in games. She didn't believe in toys. She sent books. And she always stressed to my brothers and I, knowledge. No one can take your knowledge from you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I truly believe in that. Your knowledge is your power. Whatever experience that you have in any careers, your knowledge as far as your education, once you have that knowledge, to me, I believe you're almost untouchable, because no one can ever deny your power and, you know, your strength in what you have that propels you to be able to work in whatever field or whatever your passion may be. So I'm definitely for that, as far as your knowledge, your experience, your careers, your passions, all of that wrapped up into one. I want to talk a little bit about your role with the Signature Entrepreneurs Mastermind Group that we both are a part of. You are our National Senior Vice Chair for Membership and Compliance for Book Publishing. So tell us about your role with SIMS.
It came about, I had actually known Dr. Larry White prior to joining the group. We used to work together. And in 2020, he was having an event, a book signing event. And being new to publishing and being out of my comfort zone, brand new entrepreneur, I consider myself still to be a brand new entrepreneur.
Me
as
too.
long as I'm still learning, I'm still brand new.
That's right. Always a work in progress.
It was exactly. But it was important to me to the one thing that I knew off the bat, off the cuff, was I had to surround myself with individuals that could feed me knowledge. Like-minded. Yes. So I said, well, let me, you know, check out a couple of groups and see who I wanted to form some partnerships with. And so I, you know, paid my ticket to go to the event. And then, of course, March came around and COVID shut everybody down.
Yes.
And so when they decided that they were going to postpone it, he called me up and he says, hey, Lisa Harwell, you know, and what you been up to? You know, we're going to have to cancel, you know, you want your money back. And I'm like, no, you know, just, you know, donate it, just, you know, keep it.
Yeah.
And so when I started talking to him about what I was up to, he was like, well, why don't you come and check us out and see if this might be a good fit for you? And of course, I joined the group, and I'm one that, what do you need for me to do?
Right, exactly.
And so I propelled from that to he needed a new membership, you know, someone to do membership for him. And so that is how I have escalated within the group. And I tell you, it has been so humbling, some of the people that I've met, including yourself, to be able to share our stories and network and promote each other. It's been just phenomenal.
Absolutely. It is. I'm just so honored to be a part of the group. Because I have actually looked at other Toastmasters groups as far as like being able to get up and, you know, publicly speak. I always wanted to become a part of something like that. So when he actually approached me about becoming a part of this group, I was like, okay, I think this will be a good idea to network. You get a chance to do a lot more public speaking. to already go ahead and enhance what you already are doing with your own platform anyways. And then right now, the piece that I'm actually over right now is doing these special events coordinating.
Yes, and
that is like
wait.
that is my favorite thing to do. I think it's fun to be able to take like all of what we're doing as we're promoting our brands and our businesses, and to be able to put it in an event where everybody can come out and get to meet us and see who we are and what we have to offer. This is an amazing opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Signature Entrepreneur Mastermind Group, Dr. Larry, International and National Chairman. This is who you need to speak with to become a part of this group. It is phenomenal. Yes, absolutely phenomenal.
November 12th through the 14th in Atlanta.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. The Atlanta networking mixer we're having, absolutely. November the 13th from 12 to 8 at Harner Park in Douglasville, Georgia.
Yes. Awesome. And and getting back to the point that you made earlier about, I wanted to go back to the motivational speaking part. Actually, what got me into speaking was I was extremely shy.
Right, me too.
And speak in front of people.
Yes.
And so when I first moved to DC, I went to Columbia School of Broadcasting because there again, my love of journalism and radio and all that. Right. And I thought, maybe I'll be behind the scenes and I can be on the radio. Went through the school, got licensed and everything. The gentleman signed me up, hooked me up with an interview, and I chickened out.
Yep.
Because
I've been there.
That fear.
Yep. Talks you out of it. Yes. Talks you out of it.
Who's going to listen to me? I have nothing to say.
Right.
And so when I came back around to do the publishing piece and I said I wanted to interview people, I kind of sat on that for a year, and I sporadically would get in front of the video and stuff. But then in January, I said, you know what? I just need to jump in 2 feet.
Yes.
I can change my platform at any time.
Absolutely.
I can critique and finesse my platform at any time. Absolutely. But I need to just jump in and just do it.
Just do it. That's it. Go for it.
I've been doing it monthly now since January. I think I took the summer off a little bit to get my son in school, but now back at it full time. And I'm hoping to do some in-person interviews is what I'm looking to do next, once I can get my studio fixed up downstairs or all of my equipment together to travel with. But it has been this part of it, talking with you, talking with other individuals, people that know me, say, your face lights up and you're animated and we know that you are in your element.
Absolutely. That's how you know when you meet someone and whatever their platform is, that's how you know that this is their walk. This is what they're supposed to be doing, because you can feel it. It's like every time that me and you conversate, just by seeing your face, it actually gives me more motivation to keep going. Like, okay, there's another Black woman like myself. We have the same passion. Our backgrounds are somewhat similar because we both have a love for journalism, communication, radio broadcasting, bringing our stories to the forefront, helping someone else bring their stories to the forefront. So it's just phenomenal. I mean, it's very, very empowering and very encouraging for any other, Black women out there that want to, do what we're doing or whatever it is that their passion is, that there's another sister out there that's doing the same thing or something similar that can encourage you to go ahead and take that step. Take that walk. Don't, second guess. Don't talk yourself out of it. Go for it. That is your path that God has for you. So I definitely just love everything about your spirit and your aura and just meeting you as a person.
Thank you. Absolutely. I cannot wait to meet you in person.
Me too. I'm definitely going to be making plans for that next. That's my next plan. I got to get to Maryland to see you guys.
Yes, or I'm going to find a way to get between getting my son home for Thanksgiving and a couple other things I got going on. I'm going to try to make that trip to Atlanta or outside of Atlanta for November.
Absolutely. I would love to have you here. So what upcoming projects do you have coming up for your brand, Red Baby Publishing?
Well, I just came out with a brand new logo. I had done stuff. initially. And like I said, I'm steady one that I'm looking to see, okay, how can I finesse it?
Right.
How can I bring it crisper, make it,
Yeah.
So I redid the logo for Red Baby Publishing. I had been using a young gentleman I think he's out of California, Eddie Graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And he had done some stuff for me, caricatures in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of told him what I was looking for, and he nailed it with the Red Baby Publishing. And so I'm looking to, next would be working on Journey with Jones Harwell.
Gotcha.
Red Baby Publishing is my long-term game, because that requires, you meet people,
Mm-hmm.
give them a quote, either they love your spirit or you don't.
Right.
I normally tell them, go look at my website, read some of the stuff that I have there,
Mm-hmm.
listen to my story. Either you're going to trust me with your story or you're not.
Right.
And so it's a selective thing there.
Mm-hmm.
And as I continue to grow, I don't see that being a huge thing. What I do see being my true platform is the Journeys with Jones Harwell.
There you go.
Because that I can touch organically
exactly
every day.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that is where I'm looking to build a following there, mm-hmm. to be able to one of my idols in journalism has been Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I followed the career of there's a couple of local people here that I followed.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Hayward, when she was on the air here, mm-hmm. Maureen Bunyan, and just Max Robinson. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, I never missed Dan Rathers when he was on the air.
Right.
And the gentleman that was on ABC, I'm trying to figure the other gentleman, before he passed away, but I always followed those mm-hmm. two gentlemen, right. Because I just loved the way that they told a story. Mm-hmm. And then, I even followed Gayle King, in the right. morning. A lot. I'll watch, CBS mornings, because now mm-hmm. it's turning to change to CBS mornings.
Right.
But I always loved that part of being able to touch that human spirit.
Exactly. That's important.
Because you never know. Mm-hmm. You never ever know. And I'm living testament that me taking that one step,
yes,
allowed me to help the individuals that I've helped so far.
Absolutely.
And I think the most rewarding out of doing the anthology has been even the gentleman and this is a gentleman, by the way, that mm-hmm. wrote this book. Mm-hmm. A lot of people think it's a female.
Wow.
It's a guy.
Amazing. Mm.
And this is my first fiction
Gotcha.
author.
Gotcha.
And he trusted me so much that he was like, when are we going to do another one? The second one, when you're ready to start the second one? I said, let's start at the end of the year. Let's give right. this one a little time to breathe for a minute, and then come back with me, and then we'll start the next one. But exactly. He believed in me, and it's just amazing. Took a chance, and we're learning together,
right.
And that's another thing about me too. If I really are passionate about you, I'm mm-hmm. going to teach you something about my business.
There you go.
Something that I want you to know. That's
exactly.
important. Okay.
Right. That's
Make
important.
sure that you copyright. Make sure that you get your ISBNs. Don't, make sure you own your rights to your stuff.
That's it.
Make sure before you send me something, you stamp it and you copyright it. That's because right. I'm not going to be the one that you're going to come back and say, well, you stole my stuff. No. Because if I'm sending something out, trust and believe I'm putting copyright
That's right.
on it, or, do not redistribute, on it
exactly.
before I share it. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm always teaching something about journalism or publishing to who I'm working with.
Absolutely.
Because you grow that way. You don't
right.
know that they may give you another idea you've never thought of to do.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're definitely right on that. So where can your followers connect with you on social media? How can they connect with you?
On social media, on Twitter, I'm at Jones Harwell. If you check Facebook, if you type in Jones Harwell or Red Baby Publishing, you'll be able to find me. On Instagram, you can find me at Harwell, HARWELL 1653. I'm on TikTok, Jones Harwell 8. Where else am I?
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere. My website is jonesharwell.com. So under jonesharwell.com, you'll find Red Baby Publishing. You'll get to meet me. I'm dabbling in t-shirts. So you'll find t-shirts on my website.
There you go.
I have another stream of t-shirts and drinkware that you can find. If you type in Jones Harwell Boutique, all one word.com.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to hustle, like they said. Sister
That's
out
it.
here trying to hustle.
That's it. That's the other piece. I guess I didn't get to ask that question, but you're an entrepreneur. So all of this is entrepreneur.
Yes.
Everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think I read somewhere, somebody said, even if you are an author, right? Even if somebody else is publishing your stuff,
yes,
you are still an entrepreneur, because guess what you're doing? You're putting out a body of work, a body of art.
That's it. That is so true. Everything that we're doing, everything that we are working on, that's exactly what we're doing. Well, thank you so much for being on Urban Beats Radio 2 today, sharing all of your platform, your stories, how you became who you are, Lisa Harwell, Red Baby Publishing. Like I said, you're a phenomenal woman, and I plan to hopefully do some work with you myself at some point as far as writing a book. I just got to figure out what I want to write about.
And and I thank you so much, Rashawn, for the opportunity. Yes. I have a young lady that I coached for a minute, and now we have a weekly conversation every week. We're just talking every week. Eventually she'll get to her book, but I told her something about her spirit. And she said the same. So all we're doing is having conversations, and sometimes we write and sometimes we just talk. But you'll know when your spirit hits you as to what you want to write about. So many people have said, do I want to tell my story? I'm not ready to tell my story on paper yet. I tell pieces of it as I'm talking to you, because that's the draw that I'm drawing the people who are getting to know me, a piece of me and who I am. But fiction is my love. And it comes in the strangest kind of ways. I could be driving down the street. I could be listening to a song. I could be in the bed sleep and something will come to me and I have to get up and write it down, because if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it. What was that?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I know we got a lot more talking, networking to do, and we got to get to that book. As soon as I come up with that idea, I will be hitting you up first and foremost to let you know.
All righty. So and everybody, I'm plugging you. If you're in the Atlanta area, you don't even have to be in the Atlanta area. You have access to internet. Urban Beats Radio 2.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're welcome, my love.
Thank you.
Was brought to you by Whipple Tompkins Mobile Notary Service, where notary service is fast and reliable. Available 24/7. You better